Hello, good morning.
Buenos días.
Buenos días, Ale.
Buenos días, la Yaki.
Oh. I like being called La Yaki. Thank you.
That's
Thank
cute.
you. Thank you.
It's cute. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Wow. Well, thank you for joining us for another coffee chat. We're here with Ale, and Ale didn't want donuts today, so we're trying something different. What do we have here on this cutting board?
Well, thank you so much. We have the quiche and fruit, and we have these gluten-free, sugar-free cookies.
That you brought in?
Yes, that I brought as a gift because, as a Latino, you never show up to someone's house empty-handed. Okay? Rules. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming over and having this really, I think, important conversation. I think a lot of people are going to relate to this. And we're going to be talking about that there's actually good in failure. Failure is good. But before we start talking about this very important conversation, who are you, Ale? Why and how do I know you? How did this happen?
Well, let me introduce myself. Let me do the camera stuff first.
Do it.
Then I'll do it.
Sure.
So, hola, mi nombre es Alejandra Patricia López Viana.
Oh, that is your name, right?
Yes, it is. But I just feel like, on camera, you're just like, hola, mi gente, soy Alejandra Patricia López Viana.
Hola, mi gente. I love it. She said she was nervous, but
oh my goodness, that is my camera talk.
I love it.
And then we'll have the regular.
I love it.
I am here today to talk, about that failure is good. But I think you invited me to this talk because of my background and the things that I do. So I am a fashion designer. I had a clothing company for 10 years.
Wow.
I started that when I was 19.
Wow.
Yeah. And then made my money, got out because Instagram was going to blow up. And I was like, I knew that this would be the end of fashion. So... Yeah, but that was really exciting.
Sure.
So I love styling people. I love styling homes. So I'm really creative. I have a really creative eye. Self-taught graphic designer. When I had that business, I had to do all of it. So I did everything. I did the branding, I did the accounting, the finance, the website, the graphics, the sales, right? The marketing, all of it.
Dang.
All of it. I was with my cutters, my sewers, my sourcing, everything.
Wow.
Self-taught.
Wow.
And so, but then my mom was like, no, you need to get that on paper. So she's forced me to go to college. The whole time I was there, I was like, this is such a waste of time.
You're like, I already know it.
But let me make the most of it, right? Let me make the most of it. Let me make connections, right? So I'm still friends with a lot of my professors. A lot of friends that I met in college as well. I decided to open up a marketing business in college too. And then it was really successful. I think people that I reached out to, or I think I told you before, I really loved working with mom and pop shops. Just kind of people that were maybe not as tech savvy, internet savvy, and disorganized people. They loved me because I would come in and just organize everything. Physically and on the cloud, right? Organize all these things. So I got a lot of word of mouth clients.
All right.
Because they were just so happy with all the things that I would do for them. But then fast forward, pandemic, lost my clients. But it was okay. It's all, everything happens for a reason. Pandemic, lost my clients, had a baby. Yes, became a mom. Then re-entered the workforce, entered into corporate America. Oh dear. It's just you're either for that or you're not. And I just knew from really early, obviously, I really hated school. I was, I was in school doing the fashion design program, doing my general ed classes, all these things, and I always hated it. And I was like, Mom, like, I really hate school. Like, I'm ready to start a business.
Dang, like already just.
Yeah, I was like, I can't stand this
Wow.
teacher. I can't stand this class. I can't.
It's in your blood.
Yeah.
I feel like you were made for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what I appreciate about you too is you're just like, you're also just super chill. Like I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like for everything, like all your, because she hasn't even gotten to some of the stuff she's gonna be, that's coming out soon. But you just have so many ideas, and you're just like, you just got it, man. And you just know you're doing what's right for you, and you're also just chill. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you.
Someone recently told me. Someone recently told me, she's like, Alejandra, she's like, you have the magic sauce.
Oh.
And I was like, ooh.
Is it some aioli? What are we talking about here?
I don't know. She's like,
yeah, you have it.
But yeah, like I felt like I felt that really early on. And like I said before, like I don't feel like everyone should be an entrepreneur.
Well, you were telling me, but you should tell them.
It's like that. You know, when we were talking about corporate, like entrepreneurship, it's like really different. And entrepreneurship is so trendy right now. It's like the trendiest thing, and I feel like the pandemic kind of over amplified that too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of entrepreneurs that popped out,
Yeah.
and people are trying to like bank off of that too with like programs and trainings and all that.
Yeah.
But anyways, but in reality, it's like, okay, you tell people, yes, entrepreneurship, wow. But in reality, you need to really be introspective and really say like, can I handle this emotionally? You know, because it's a lot more work than having a 9 to 5.
It's a lot more
right?
work.
You have a 9 to 5. You have a 9 to 5, and then you go home, and the work stays there. You can leave it. Mm-hmm. You know, like something goes wrong at work, like you can call out sick.
Right.
You can take a personal day.
Right.
You can't do that when you're an entrepreneur. You know, like and it's like, are you ready to take that on? Are you ready to think 24 hours? Right? Saturdays, weekends, nights.
Yeah.
It affects like your whole life. It's like all
it affects
integrated.
your whole life.
Integrated.
Integrated, yeah.
Excuse me. But so yeah, the pandemic, corporate world. I went into the advertising agency life. Really lucky to have experienced that. I went into a Latino advertising agency called Dieste, and it was the first time that I ever experienced being in a Latino space, working in a Latino space, where you just like...
After all this time? That was your first time?
Well, so I grew up in Orange County, so I was always in white spaces. You know, you have to act white, talk white, you know, fit in. Hi. You have to like say your name, Alejandra. You know, and they're like, can I call you Allie? Like, no.
No.
So now I've switched it up, you know. Now it's like, like I say Alejandra.
Oh, Alejandra.
Yeah.
Ale.
I introduce myself Alejandra.
I love that.
And they're like, and I'm like, do you go by? No, I don't. That's my birth name, Alejandra.
You're like, no, we're not changing my name.
Right? Like, am I trying to change your name, ma'am? No. And so I was really excited to just be, you know, in a meeting, and all of a sudden we can all like joke in Spanish and talk in Spanish. And it's just like, we get it. Like this unspoken, like, we get it.
Yeah.
I get you, you know? Like,
yeah, it's special.
It was beautiful.
It's special.
It was beautiful. And so I feel like that actually kind of inspired my latest business venture a little bit. So, did the corporate world, not for, it's just not for me. I'm just like a really bad corporate employee.
Yeah.
And I'll admit it. I bring to the table a lot of creative ideas, initiatives. I keep my word, like I'm a trustworthy person. But at the end of the day, if my heart is not in it, if I feel like I'm doing inefficient work, or like, you know, like that tedious work that's like has no reason, no point, but it's like protocol. Yeah. And I'm just like,
you're not about it. Yeah.
I'm not about it.
Yeah.
And so I would be a bad employee. But I'm honest. Honest is all my managers
valuable.
Straightforward. I would tell them how it is. They're like, how's it going? How are you doing? I'd be like, I'm not doing this. I'm not happy with this. I think we should change this. I think this is inefficient.
Okay.
I would say it how it is.
Love it. I love that.
And I think they appreciated that because
That's
normally corporate employees are not like that,
Yeah.
right? They're just like,
But I think that, I mean, I know we're going to talk about the topic right now, but I hope that you are also seeing that. I think these are also traits that I personally admire. That's a way that I wish I could be more that way, where you have your boundaries and you know, but you're also able to speak up and say what you think, you know. I think these are all great things that I'm sure maybe certain life experience have shaped you to get to be at this point. So we'll get into that in just a moment. But
Yeah.
this thing that you're opening.
oh yes.
Before we get into the,
I just realized, like I'm an entrepreneur. Like that's me in my core, and I don't want to feel stagnant and like in a box in this job. And so I started the process of launching this new business called the V Collective. And the V Collective is a co-working and community space for professional women of color. And the 3 pillars of this space.
I saw you like coughing and now I'm coughing.
It's the...
Hang on.
Okay.
I don't want to interrupt you. Hang on.
Okay. Breathe through the nose. Okay.
Go ahead.
I thought you were laughing because I said the 3 pillars.
No. I was actually kind of like, oh, what are they?
Okay, yeah. So the basis of the space is to incorporate like women-focused amenities. So some of the amenities would be childcare, which is a big one. Huge. Childcare. I will also like to have a manicurist on site. Huge. But I just recently found this machine. It's a robotic manicure. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
No way.
Yeah, so excited. So yeah, manicurist. I'll also have the space be available for rent for events. So for the members, they'll have special pricing because I plan for it to be a beautiful and aesthetically pleasing space, right? Because if we're gonna leave the comforts of our home, it better be for something a little better, right? A little upgrade, a little more spacious, all those things. Also, I will have a content studio. So where we can do little
coffee chats, maybe
podcasts,
I was going to hit you about that. I was like,
right? You can rent the space, you can rent the equipment. We also will have permanent events monthly, so wellness workshops, mommy mixers, happy hours, right? Because it's all about bringing people together, making connections, making friends. Because we live in. This is what also inspired me. Like we all work remotely.
Yeah.
Like most of us work remotely, and it's gonna stay. It's gonna stay. Remote work is gonna stay, and it gets lonely, especially women. Women need groups.
Oh,
yeah,
yes, groups,
and women. Yeah, we need to do. Like workout classes. All the workout classes are always all women.
Oh yeah.
Have you noticed
for the
why?
Most part, yeah.
Because
I never thought about it. No.
This is like genetics. Like we like to do things in groups, and it's good for.
That's how the whole bathroom thing. Like, can somebody come with me to the bathroom?
Exactly. Like it's like we need that for our mental well-being, and so this is why like anxiety, depression has increased 25% since
25%
since the pandemic. Dang. Because we're isolated.
Yeah,
we need to go out. We need to have a conversation. We need to have a connection. Yeah. We need to feel seen, heard, right? We need to get out of our pajamas, put on our makeup, and go to the V Collective. So the mental health component is the other pillar.
I love that.
So I
love that.
Yeah, I want to have like an on-site mental health specialist that you can come in by appointment, and they could share with you resources. And also, I want to focus on finding someone that has access to therapists that are of color, because that's so hard to find. So hard to find.
Yeah.
It took me so long to find a Latina therapist. So just having that like access.
That's huge. Yeah.
And what else?
When does this happen? When is it opening? Do you know?
Well, I have an advisory board that I'm super excited about. So they're helping me propel this new business venture.
Wow.
But I'm hoping. My plan is by the end of 2024. Hopefully sooner. You know, if you see it, you believe it, it'll happen. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited for that.
We're excited too.
Yeah, and you can follow us for now on Instagram at the V Collective Workspace. The V Collective.
V Collective. And we hope the Higher Ellas and Donas and Tortas can collaborate with you and help support the V Collective, because definitely Anna and I were like, dude, we should film some stuff there. So
yes, y'all are gonna be members.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, now let's dig into this topic that really, a lot of these topics come just organically with the people that I talk to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talk, and I'm like, oh, what do you think about talking about this? And I don't even know how we started talking about this, but we're entrepreneurs, and so obviously there's a lot of, you know, it's like she was saying earlier, like not everyone's meant to be an entrepreneur. Oh, we're talking about motherhood too. Not everyone's meant to be a mother, right? There's certain things that certain, I guess, a description of what it means to be an entrepreneur and being a mother. And I guess you said, that's what it was. You said something about like you have to be able to pivot. Like that's what it's all about. It's about moving. Things are changing, and you just go along with it. And so then we started talking about that, and then you said something, and I was like, and you're all, you know, Jackie, there's failure is good. And I was like, explain this to me, Ale. And then we started talking about it. I was like, okay, we need to talk about this, because, and then literally the next day I was talking to somebody about like fear of failure, and they were like, and I was like, oh, we're gonna have a chat about this. And she's like, I can't wait to see it. So this is like a lot of, we already have somebody interested in it. Yeah, we have one viewer that's like, no, because like, let's be real, like failure, the fear of failure has, I think, haunts all of us. And it is the reason we do and do not make choices. So you tell me failure is good. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I
now we can talk. Now
we can talk now. You know, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I feel like this topic, it really trickles into all areas of life, right? Not just like your career, right? Like this is relationships, you know, parenting, you know, if you have you know, like fitness goals, health goals. And like you said, fear really drives us for everything. And I don't know, like I think a lot about people that are afraid to do something because they're gonna fail, and so they don't even try. And I'm like, this is all like a mind shift. Like you have to really shift the mentality and the way that you view the word, the way that it makes you feel. Like if the word failure is connected to this negative feeling, like you need to change that. You need to say like, no, like I would love to experience this failure so I can learn from it. And, you know, because, like, how am I going to learn to be better, to do better, if I haven't even tried?
Or I'm not making any steps.
No steps, right? Like, you know, like, you have to try first.
Yeah. So I always like I'm very vulnerable in this space. And I do it because I want to show, like, how to start putting this stuff into place. So I'm happy to be a little guinea pig in this. So when you talk to me about, like, what am I afraid of? Like, I mean, I'm afraid of a lot of things, but sure. But in terms of failure, like, I think for the longest time, like, I was afraid to, like, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I went to school to be a filmmaker. I wanted to make movies. Like, I wanted to tell stories. And
that's cool.
Yeah, I went to school for it, and I was just so afraid of, you know, it wasn't even a failing, because, again, I don't think I even tried, right? I mean, I tried, but I think I was afraid to really let myself really, like, get in there, you know, with the filmmaking. Like, there's so many things that I could have done to really expand my creativity, and I was so afraid of, like, oh my God, am I, like, I was already thinking about, I wasn't even thinking of failing. I wasn't even thinking about the steps to work towards something. I was already like, oh no, if I'm here, it's like, and I'm just like, you know, and then so, I share that with you because I'm like, I don't know if that resonates with you as far as, like, this idea of just stopping yourself even before you like make an effort.
I was gonna share this quote for the end, but I think it fits now.
Okay, let's hear it.
I read this quote that it said, if you make a mistake more than once, it's a decision. And so, like, you made a decision. You made a decision that this path, it's not, subconsciously, it's not for you. This path is not something that you really want. Because if you really want something, like, you figure out the steps to get there. And even if it means trying something and failing, you try again. You try again. And you learn from each time, right? What works and what doesn't work. And that's what gets you on that path to where you want to really be. But I guess maybe it's like this feeling like, ooh, don't touch the mic.
It's the mic.
Don't touch the mic. Maybe it's this feeling like you don't really envision. I feel like it's all about envisioning, right?
Yeah, because it's a lot of it with my therapist is like it's all about that self-sabotage.
Yes.
That I do. I do. And it's like, and part of it is because I don't think that failure is good. Which comes back to why when you said that, I was like, because I've heard like, oh, you learn from it and this and that. But when you're like, no, there's actually good when you do fail, I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't see that good. Like, I want to see that good. So it's like, you're talking about like reframing the way.
Reframing it and reframing how it makes you feel too.
Yeah.
Like, no, like, I really want to try this so I can mess up. Right?
Well, how do you get there? Like, I
think it's because I'm chill. Like you said, you're so chill.
You're so chill, but why are you so chill, dude?
I don't know. Why am I so resilient? I feel like I'm resilient.
Yeah.
Like
you have a lot of confidence though.
I do have a lot of confidence.
And so you're like, even like, because you know what? I'm trying to put the pieces together. It's almost like when you fail, you're like, oh, I just failed. It has nothing to do with me as a person. Like, you're just doing something. It's like when you ride a bike. You're riding a bike and you're like, well, I want to ride the bike to the end of the street. And you fall off a couple times and you're like, all right, well, I'm just going to get up and do it. It doesn't change who Ale is. Ale is still Ale.
Yeah.
And I think maybe, for me, I don't know if people can relate to me. It's like, sometimes I feel like me falling off that bike means like, Jackie's a dumbass. Like, yeah. And so why even try? Like, you're a dumbass, instead of being like, no, you just have to keep. It's like two separate things, like, right? Yeah. It's like your identity and who you are as a human being versus like what you're doing. Yeah. Maybe I need that. I think that's.
You're too hard on yourself.
Yeah.
You're too hard on yourself. You have to love yourself more.
Yeah.
I practice a lot of self-love.
Yeah. What does that look like?
I never talk bad to myself.
Oh my God.
I never.
And we talk a lot about here. There's been several people who are like negative self-talk, a lot of it. And you don't. That's pretty cool. Holy shit.
I love myself. I love that. I fucking love myself.
You know what? I feel that. I feel that from your energy is very much like, I love myself. I love where I am in this moment. Yeah. Like it's all very connected, I feel like.
It is, and I don't want people to think that I'm self-absorbed.
No, like but that's the issue. Don't you think that's the issue? Is that we don't let ourselves, like, why not feel like you're a badass? Like, or that you care about yourself, or you think highly of yourself, like.
Yeah, I think, so.
Oh, I see these connections.
Yeah, that's the secret. Never talk bad to yourself, ever. Ever. You have to say nice things to yourself every day. And this is all connected to all this, all these theories.
I didn't grow up thinking that though. Isn't that crazy? Like, how did you like?
We're not gonna get into my childhood today, okay?
Okay, sorry. No, I'm just trying to think like, how do we kind of start, like, and we can use me as a guinea pig, is like, I will say this, like, and I was just talking to someone about this, and I talked about this in my last coffee chat, which will come out soon. It's about attachment styles. But we talked about how I didn't even realize this, but there was this moment when I started dating again after a breakup, and I was single for a few years, and I was hanging out with this guy who, like, really opened me up emotionally, but it was like, I don't really remember. I remember him, like, mildly, but what I remember is what I felt or when I was around him, and it was about how I felt about myself. That I remember hanging out at the bar, or like went dancing, or we did this and that, and I just remember being like, I'm a good time. Like, I like this Jackie, and I felt so happy. That made me happy to be like, I like who I am, and that is what helped me kind of be like more open and more vulnerable, because I was like, dude, this is a cool Jackie. And I'm just like,
this connects me to another point.
okay.
So first we said to talk nice about yourself.
Okay.
Right? Never talk bad about yourself. Never talk bad to yourself. That's the word. Never talk bad to yourself.
Okay.
And then the other one is, the people around you, your environment. Your environment really shapes your mood, shapes how you feel about yourself. If you're around people that are always negative, if you're around people who are judgmental, who criticize, who talk bad to themselves, that's gonna trickle into you. Like you need to surround yourself with more people like that. Surround yourself with more
He ghosted me, but it's okay.
Whatever. We don't even remember this person's name.
Maybe the point is that what you're saying is like, I just need to make sure that I follow that sort of energy so that I can see that side of myself, right?
Yes.
Like, I think that's
consistently be around people that remind you of the things that you love about yourself.
Oh,
right?
Say that again for the people in the back.
Right. Like get rid of all those people that don't make you feel good.
Yeah.
I think we need to the third one, like really feel your intuition. I feel like a lot of people are really disconnected from their intuition because we're behind the screen.
Silent my phone.
Was that a boss move? That was a boss move.
Like, you need a... I'm like, oh my God, I need to take notes over here. I'm like, I need to get on your level, honey.
Oh my gosh. Now it's making me blush. But yes, listen to your intuition.
Yeah.
Listen to your gut. Listen to your gut.
Yeah.
If someone is making you feel uneasy, if someone is making you feel like you're second doubting yourself, like that person needs to go. Yeah. That bad energy. I feel energies.
I do.
Like,
but
you can tell when someone's just like a bad vibe.
Usually it's like, there aren't that many people in my life, but there's definitely a handful of people where I'm like, oh yeah.
Right? And this goes into boundaries, right? With family, with people that we can't get rid of. We need to set boundaries. I don't think they even watch this, but yeah. We need to set boundaries, right? Like if they're making us, if we're like feeling a certain way, like you feel it. You're like,
you feel it.
Oh, why am I feeling this way? And you're just like, well, I'm gonna go now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that's looking out. That's looking out for yourself and protecting yourself. Yeah.
So surrounding yourself with people who remind you of that, like like telling you know what, Yaki, you are so charismatic. Like, I love how you come in here with your little microphone. You're asking us all these questions, so creative.
La que no come tacos over here.
I do. Sometimes.
You're like, once a year.
Sometimes.
One Taco Tuesday.
One in Mexico. But I think that, like, those are the things. Talk nice to yourself. Surround yourself with good people. Listen to your intuition.
Let's talk about this intuition for a second. Sometimes I feel like I can listen to my intuition, and this is something that I've learned through therapy and the work I'm doing, right? It's like, I used to spiral like a lot. And now I'm like, I'm in a much better place. I will continue to, it will definitely continue to be something I work on, because it comes back from my childhood of like, I didn't know how to like react to certain feelings, and I didn't really know how to do all that. And now I'm sort of parenting myself to do that. And I'm happy to do it. Like I have an app that I talk about a lot, which is the Cognitive Behavioral Therapy Journal, which is free. This intuition, like Anna reminds me of this all the time. She's like, you have to just like make decisions, and we have to build that confidence. And part of that is just just make decisions for yourself. And I would think for me, I've always been so like cautious, because I'm just like, what if I make a mistake? And I say this because it leads back to this failure. Because I'm like, what if I make this mistake and it's going to lead to the failure? And Anna always reminds me, she's like, well, you know what? Like, at least you're never going to get everything perfect. So you know that even decisions that you think are the best of the time, like, yeah, there's always that like 5% or whatever bigger percent where it might go a different way. And for me, I've been trying to navigate how to make sure like that I need to just accept that like I'm gonna fail, you know, I'm gonna make a mistake, and I need to just be like, well, let's move on from this. But I think that's something that I am trying to learn is like with this intuition, right? Is like just make the decisions based on, you know, don't overthink it either, and just like based on X, Y, Z, and then move, and then keep going. Pushing. Yeah. But I've been so, most of my life, I've just been so afraid of, oh my God, like, but if I make this decision, is it gonna like?
And who cares? So what? Remember I sent you that clip of Salma Hayek?
Yeah.
Right?
Share with them the general message.
No, that mistakes are yours. Like they are, and you it's the reframing. Like mistakes are something positive. They're your gems, your tools that no one can take away from you, because you, every time you make a mistake, you're gonna learn something new, and that's your wisdom.
And it's kind of like part of your story.
Yeah.
They literally like move you, like what you're saying, well, we talk about offline,
it moves you along, right? Like,
it moves you
because
along,
you know, you make a mistake and it leads you to somewhere else. And that mistake was meant to happen because it moved you to the next thing.
Well, people always remind me, they're like, even though you like, your passion or whatever for filmmaking didn't go the way you wanted to, you would have never met Anna.
See?
Somebody told me that. I forget who told me that. But I was like, it's true. It's like, yeah, even though like, and honestly, the truth is like, I was going through personal things. Life, and that's another thing, is like, life got in the way. Like, I was in the closet. I was very depressed. Like, so I didn't really feel like making like all these other kids who like didn't probably have to worry about that. They were out there doing their filming, and I'm here terrified if my family's going to accept me. So, you know, I had different things that I was worried about that were out of my control. And so now I've come to a place where I'm like, that was my journey. And now I'm making up for it. Like, now I'm doing this. I'm making the things, and I'm really happy that I'm here with you and doing this and all this stuff. But yeah, it's just like life will take you in different places, and
you just need to say it's okay.
And you need to say it's okay.
It's okay.
I like that.
And you're exactly where you need to be.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And gratefulness has been my word this year.
Yes. Yes. Gratitude. Why is it so cheesy but just so real? Like, that is so cheesy, right? It's so cheesy, but it's like, that is like the ultimate gift of life, is like to feel grateful.
So talking nice to yourself and then saying what you're grateful for every day. And lately I've been practicing my small wins.
Oh, okay.
So every day I'm like, what was my small win? Like, because it may be so small, but it's so significant.
Yeah.
And these small wins, they add up and they make you feel good.
Yes.
They're like little bits of joy, like little, you know, like
sprinkles.
Little bite-sized.
Who doesn't love sprinkles? You know, it's like,
I don't love sprinkles.
I'm talking to the wrong person. Oh, who doesn't love? Wait. Who doesn't love zucchini noodles sprinkled?
Quinoa.
Imagine. I do have some quinoa in the cabinet.
I love quinoa, but don't give it to me raw.
But those are the moments.
Like these little gems in your day. Like, I'm always like, what was my small win? Like, even if you think you did nothing that day, but you're just like, I made a home cooked meal today. Like, I know a lot of people out there that went through the drive-thru.
Yeah, and
small win.
Yeah. And okay, so I always like to think about, because I've been taking people on my journey here with Coffee Chats for actually over a year before I even had guests. And my whole point was to kind of bring people through this journey, whatever they may be going through. And so there might be people out there who look at us and go, okay, Jackie and Ale, like, okay, the little moments and this and that. Because there's some people who are just like, they're not even there yet, you know, on their journey to hear it and to really hear what we're saying.
Yeah.
So my question to you is like, if there's people out there who are like really struggling with their mental health, really struggling to find that gratitude, because when I'm grateful, that's when I know I'm feeling okay, because I can that's honestly I feel it's a privilege in your mental health to be able to be like, I am grateful for this, because sometimes, you know, when you're down and you can't even see that,
and everything is dark.
Yeah, so that's my question to you, is like, for those people who are in a darker place, like, what advice do you have for them? Do you have any? I mean, I know it's pretty like, but I think, You're very wise, so I feel like you might have something.
You know, like I said, I'm a more logical person than emotional. I can't get emotional.
I was like,
I can't
you
get
can get
there.
emotional.
I can, but I'm just sharing that I lean more.
Lean towards that, yeah.
I have a heavier on the logic side. But I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Like I can easily say like, oh, like you definitely need therapy. Like it's really helpful for everyone.
Yeah.
Like I love it. I've been, also doing it for some time now. But just like we were saying, like eating healthy, it really affects your mood. So if you're down, you should look at what you're eating on your plate, because that's probably bringing you down. Eating healthy, exercising, drinking lots of water, your social life.
Yeah.
Social life.
Yeah.
That's key.
Yeah.
Talking things out.
Yeah. Reach out. Like
you have to reach out. I said when I was really down I've had really rough 2 years actually. And I just sent a massive long text to like a group of my friends. And it was like something that normally I wouldn't do. Like it's really, some people wouldn't normally do that.
You're being vulnerable.
Yeah. And I'm saying like, this is what's happening in my life. This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm feeling.
Yeah. You have to lean. You can't expect that it's just gonna.
You can't do it by yourself.
No, nor should you. I mean, that's why we're all.
And even if you don't have like those kind of friends, like go be social in other settings.
Yeah, in fact, there's I'm a big ambassador of Meetup.
Oh,
Meetup is literally made for people who just want to make new connections and friends and dating, sure. But like even that's a place where you will meet people who are like-minded, who are also just as open to like connecting with someone new. And so there are people, I know it sounds so cheesy, but it's true. It's like, honestly, I always credit my friends. Like it was my friends who were like, hey, like you should probably go to therapy, you know?
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for them kind of like I had to lean on somebody that I trusted, right? To then be like, okay, what is your advice? And then, they were, vulnerable enough with me to be like, yeah, maybe you should look into that, And had I not formed those, leaned on them, it's different when you hear it from like a family member.
No, I didn't say family. That's why I didn't say family.
Friends. Yeah, I mean that's. Sorry, guys. I mean it's just too like.
No, or even you know how that phenomenon when like you like share like all these deep dark secrets with like a stranger.
Like a therapist.
No, well.
Oh
no,
my
but
God,
this is even more. This is even more like, have you ever experienced like being out somewhere and like you just like had this deep conversation with a stranger and like you never see them ever again?
Yeah.
Well, that's this thing that like we really need people. Like even if we never see these people again, like you need to go out and be social.
Yeah.
You have to be social. Like that's part of our, DNA, and so it is what gets us through life. And like kind of tapping on that, like the Blue Zone show that's on Netflix.
I have not seen it yet, but you were telling me about it, about how people live till 100 or.
Well, yeah, right? And they're sharing like the secrets. These blue zones are like where like people live the longest. There are like 5 of them or 6.
Okay.
And a key thing in amongst all these communities that are like oceans apart is that they have friends, community. And it says that it elongates your life by 7 years more when you have community and friends. Consistent. And they have like these little communities. Like it's so cute. You have to watch it.
I have to watch it.
It's so cute.
And you just need a couple people. It doesn't have to be, right?
No.
It doesn't mean you have to be, because some people it might be overwhelming. It's just like a couple people, right?
And it's not even people. It's like not even people that you're close to. Some of them are like I think there's this community I think it's in Japan, and they're called Maoris.
Okay.
And they're just women that are just there to have your back financially.
Oh wow.
With food, like if someone is struggling, there was like, like Debbie down the street broke her hip, and so we went around the neighborhood asking for funds to go buy her some groceries. And like huge. They don't really know her, they're not even family, but they're just so like sweet. Someone to care about you.
Yeah, that to be like loved and heard and seen, all that stuff.
Yeah.
By a stranger, holy moly.
Yeah.
That's huge.
So yeah, Meetup. I don't know, there's so many, the internet is so many
Oh,
things
I mean,
you
the
can
internet.
go and
I
do.
mean, we met on the internet. She found us. You found us through the dark web or whatever. So you found us on the internet. I was just talking to some in my interview yesterday. I'm like, dude, like I've met so many great people just through the internet. It's like there's some good gems.
Reach out to people.
Reach out.
I just had someone write to me on LinkedIn. They're like, I like to meet my connections personally. Like, how has your year been going?
Wow.
And I'm just like, talk to your LinkedIn connections. Like, actually try to have a conversation. Try to meet up for coffee. Talk to your Instagram followers or following, or make a connection, right? Like, you have to be proactive because this is your happiness.
Yes.
Be proactive for your happier self. Like, you want to be happy. What are you doing about it? Right?
Speaking of, you talked about how like this failure is good.
Yes.
And it trickles down to other parts in our lives, like entrepreneurship, motherhood, food. So let's talk about motherhood for a second.
Okay.
So Anna and I are, we'll become moms in the future.
Was this the first announcement?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't keep track anymore. And I was like, well, but for me, it's exciting because like obviously I've met so many great moms, and I get to talk about this other layer of life that there's a clear intersectionality of mental health and all that stuff when it comes to motherhood. I'm sure. If I'm already feeling this and I don't even have a kid, this idea of like fear, like you said, the fear of failure when it comes to being a parent.
Yeah.
How do you manage that part of your life? Like when it comes to that sort of pressure?
Yeah. It's all those things that we just said too, but I told you too, like being a parent, just like having a business, you need to be able to be okay with change. You need to be able to, something didn't work, okay, let's try something else. And that's the same thing with failure, right? Like you messed up. Redirection, yeah. You messed up, okay, that didn't work, let's try something else. And that clear connection of disconnecting your feelings from the failure, right? Like they're not connected. Like we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good because now I know, okay, my daughter hates potatoes. No more potatoes. Let me go buy something else. That's it.
That's it.
Let it go. Right?
I love that.
But there's some people that they're like,
some people
that they're like, oh, well, we are potato farmers. How can the daughter not eat potatoes? She must eat potatoes. This is so bad. Like, what are we going to do? Like, we're not going to be able to, all these potatoes are going to go bad and we're not going to, and then we're spiraling.
Yeah.
Right? That's a spiraling.
Yeah, spiraling. Until you're just like.
But then it's like.
Chill, baby.
And who cares?
And who cares? I love that. And who cares?
Doesn't eat potatoes.
And I think it goes, I mean, I hear you say this and I'm like, I think it just goes back to like, I think that you have a high ability of like understanding what is important to you, what you're grateful for, and nurturing that. And you're like, and all this other chaos, all these things that change, you're like, okay. It's almost like I'm very much like a visual person, and like Anna's always giving me like analogies, so feel free to jump in with anything.
Yeah.
But what I'm envisioning almost, it's like motherhood, like the things you keep, protect, like whether it's even entrepreneurship, you protect your business. It's almost like you're like in a storm and you grab your baby and you're just like, all right, we're gonna weather this, we're gonna enjoy this. And you're just like walking through the world and fucking things are just like being thrown at you or whatever, and you're just like, all right, okay, and you're just navigating the world, and that is life. And I think a lot of there's a point to this. I think I was naive in thinking that life wasn't this storm. That life was like, it's sunshine, and you have your kid, and like, wait, what is that? What is that? Like very fearful of these things versus being like, no, this is like, things happen. And so I think my mindset as an adult is changing, and it's that, and I think I've spent a lot of time being this workaholic to kind of protect myself and being like, well, this is one area I can control and whatever, And what I'm realizing now, after all this work I'm doing and, you know, having these amazing talks, is that like, dude, like, it's really important to keep close to the people that I care about and the things I care about and nurture it. And, you know, things are going to happen. But like you said, like, just move on, let it go, like move on, keep moving on. And that's reshaping the way I see the world. And so I'm a work in progress in that sense. Like, I don't think I'm at your level, but I understand your level. Like, I'm like, oh, I get why you're doing that. Like, and I want to be there. Like, whereas I think I could tell you a couple of years ago, I would have been like, oh, that's impossible, Ale. You know, I feel like that's the old me would have been like, oh no, like, what are you talking about? How can you be so chill? You know, and now I'm like, no, I get it. But I think there's some fundamental core beliefs that I need to work through and change. So I know I just said a lot, but
no, no.
What are your
and it's so amazing, you know, also like before you become a parent and a mom, like this work is so important to do before you become a mom. So so you're on track, see? See how everything happens for a reason and it's happening the way it should, that you're like doing all this work, you know, before. But yeah, just it's probably easier said than done, right? All these things, but it's kind of just like a shrug of the shoulder, like this is happening right now, and let me focus on the good. Let me focus on the positive of what's happening right now. Like, you know, let's play a game. Let's name like a traumatic situation or like something bad that could be happening in someone's life. And then we'll name something good that can come
from it
or a learning.
Oh, damn. Okay. Sure. Let's do it.
What should we? You pick something.
Yeah, I could pick something already.
Okay.
Well, it's not bad, but it's like something, I wouldn't say traumatic, but something, you know, I basically was told by my doctor that I need to like lose some weight. And I could be like upset about it. I could be like, oh, like, why? Like, no. Or I can be like, oh my God, I've done it before. Let's do it.
No, yeah. So like your doctor tells you something really like scary about your health, right? Instead of dwelling and swimming in like, oh my God, and like spiraling, I'm gonna get really sick. Like I may like develop this and I may No, let's think like, oh, okay. So this doctor gave me like a warning, like a sign, you know, like some facts about my body. Yeah. So I'm like, what can I do right now to make myself feel better? What can I do? What can I do right now first to take care of how I'm feeling, right? Because I'm sure you're feeling a lot about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that moment. Yeah, because there's the moment of just like you process and then you have to figure out what is your next step.
So right now, like I'm sure when they said that you were feeling really sad, you're feeling really scared.
Disappointed. Right? So, I felt disappointed in myself.
Disappointed. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Hard on yourself.
Yeah.
So like first we need to address that, right? So we need to call someone or talk to someone that makes us feel good about ourselves. Right? So that's reaching out to the people around you. So I'm sure you
talk to Anna.
You call it, you know, and like cry it out, like say your fears, like take them out, and then take a deep breath, and then say, okay, that's sad, dealt with that, let's move on. What can I do right now? What's in my control?
And it's all my control.
It's all in your control. It's all in
and that's where the self-sabotage starts. Well, this is a great exercise because now I'm thinking is like, how am I gonna fail?
No, yeah.
No question.
Don't question yourself. We're gonna talk nice to ourselves.
Oh, I like this exercise because we're gonna talk nice to ourselves.
We're gonna talk nice to
because
ourselves.
when we don't talk nice to ourselves, we're just pushing. Might as well just throw myself down the hole. Yeah. Might as well, right?
And don't you love yourself?
I do love myself.
Okay.
I think I'm pretty dope, and I think I know that I am happy. I know that I can be happier and feeling better about myself and physically better if I make some changes.
Yeah, and so we're gonna talk nice to ourselves, and we're gonna say, I know I can do this. I know I can do this because I love myself. I know I can do this because I envision this new me. I'm gonna do this because I want X, Y, and Z in my future. I'm gonna envision this because I don't know. Just like all these good things.
All these good things. All good things that can come up from this.
You have to say good things.
Yeah.
Don't focus on the bad.
Yeah.
Why do people focus on the bad
But that's
so
why
much?
that's why we're talking about this, because that's the thing is like
it means you don't want it. To me, that's what it's saying.
It means that's what you think.
It means you don't really want it.
Okay, well, let me play devil's advocate for you here.
Okay, go ahead.
Because obviously I do want it, right? Like, of course, why would I would love to be healthy and have a doctor tell me that I'm not going to have, this could lead to things and, and whatever. But sometimes, whether it's food related, health related, work related, right?
Work related, business related.
Anything, right? Why people like go straight to that is because I think it comes back down to, of course, in my experience, like I think it's that repeated thing, and that's the thing I'm continuing to work on is loving myself, and like not just saying like I love myself. It's like no, really being like no, I love myself. I'm like I'm so dope, like, and I think that is, and you tell me if I'm wrong here, but that is work. Because that is a relationship. Like, yes, you can have a relationship with other people, but it's a relationship. Like, it's not just like, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, well, it's just you and me. It's like, no, it's a relationship. It's like the same amount, maybe not the same amount, but there's an amount of time and effort that you have to spend to, and I'm certain that you do that. Do you do that? Is it fair to say that you spend a dedicated time?
A lot of self-care, self-love.
There you go. That's why. And that's where it's helped you to pursue things, and she already told you her whole like what she's accomplished, right? And yet she's chill. It's because I do believe that this is an investment you're making on yourself, and then it's like you're ready for it. You're ready for if a negative thought comes in, you're ready for it. You're like o sea, you're fucking you're just like boom boom boom. And I think that's I hope that that's where I can be, and other people can be, because that's effort, and that's I made this effort this last couple of years with therapy, and really pivoting my life in a lot of different ways, is because I was like, wait, I need to figure out like who am I, why am I, like really start to like love myself. And there was there's seasons and stuff, but there's definitely was a moment this year in therapy, and I think I've talked about it, where Anna came home from work and I was like, I need to tell you something, babe. I was like, I'm in love with someone. And she's like, what? I was like, I told the therapist, and I was like crying. I was like, I told the therapist, I was like, I think I'm falling in love with myself.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so I think it's happening. It's happening. It's a process. There's obviously, that was definitely a very vibrant season. I don't even remember what was happening, but it wasn't even anything huge. It was just like, but I know that I can get there. But I think one needs to be like, that's beautiful.
Yeah, this is all so connected, huh?
Yeah.
Everything. It's
all connected.
It's all so connected.
Yeah.
I can't speak for what that must feel like, or the process that it takes, or how long it takes, or what. But I guess just like, if you really want it, like, don't give up on that. Mm-hmm. Don't give up.
Don't give up on yourself, right? Basically.
Don't give up on yourself.
Don't give up on yourself.
Don't give up on yourself. And this trickles into like everything that if you have like fitness goals, a career goal, it shows, right? Your confidence shows. When you like trust like your abilities, it shows. When you are really decisive and you trust your decisions, it shows, right? It'll I will say that once you're in this full love myself Yaki phase, it is gonna be so much easier to make decisions.
Oh, I love to hear
that. Like this.
I love to hear that.
Someone asks me something, I'll be like, I give them an answer like that.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God,
I'm so like this. You want this? No, I want this. How do you want this? I want it like this.
Dude, and it reminded me of like this entrepreneurial path too, of like, even though I'm like afraid to take certain leaps or do certain things, I think I'm also realizing like you've been saying, like removing the feelings, it's like, well, then just identify, like maybe if there's a gap, like educate yourself, or like don't be like run the other way. It's like you didn't go to business school, like, you know, so don't. I think that's what I'm realizing is like I need to, instead of like the fear letting, you know, come in my vicinity, use the fear. And somebody told me this recently, is like use the fear as like inner wisdom to be like, okay, well then let's work through why you're feeling this way and what can you do about it.
What can you do about it?
And it's so hard to get to that though. Like I feel like sometimes I just stay kind of right here in the middle.
Yeah, and then like you're like, throw me a life vest. You're swimming in it. That's like the anxiety, I think. Yeah, that's the anxiety.
Yeah.
And then for that, therapists do like coping mechanisms for anxiety, right? Like the 5 things.
Yeah, the
right?
5 things.
The 5 things.
Yeah.
The like breathing and counting to 5. What's the other one? Oh, one where you put your feet on the ground, so you're grounded, and you just ask yourself questions that are like obvious questions, like what's my name?
Okay.
How old am I? Like what's the color of the sky? Like what did I eat for breakfast? Because you're kind of like you're sidetracking your spiraling brain.
So you're like stop, like slow down.
Right? Because you're
okay.
You're like, okay, like, you know, like what's my dog's name? Like what color is my shirt?
Yeah.
Right? Like you're kind of trying to distract.
Yeah.
Like snap out of it.
I love that. Okay. I'm gonna try that.
Another coping mechanism that I actually got from one of my friend that has like 3 sons.
Okay. What is it?
An ice pack to the chest.
Literally? You just take an ice pack?
Yeah. To kind of like shock.
Oh, damn.
Like, hey.
Oh, wow.
Like, calm down.
I'm going to try that one. Oh, wow.
Right. Like, I think just ice in general.
Okay.
So I think, too, you can, like, play with temperatures.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of people also, like, get, like, a bowl with, like, water and ice. Okay. And you, like, put your face in it.
Oh, wow, yeah. I don't know about that, but... Really?
So kind of, like...
What if all my makeup and...
What's more important, though, like, your makeup or, like, the fact that you're freaking out?
All right. I'll try it. Like, okay, so what are the ones? We have the 5 things, right, which is, like, the 5 senses, right, where you, like, count to 1, you count 1 to...
Oh, right.
The
like,
senses, right?
Yeah, like, name 5 things you can smell, 5 things you can see, 5 things you can hear.
Yeah. Or you count down, but it's like 5 things you can see, 4 things you can smell.
Oh, yes, my bad.
3 things, the whole countdown thing.
She knows more.
As you
can tell, I don't really use these coping mechanisms because I got my own little things. I don't. Because just kidding. No,
because you're what?
No.
Because you're Ale.
I'm very humble, very humble that I too have vulnerable moments. I too do need to breathe, like deep breaths. I do a lot of deep breaths sometimes. Especially being a parent, you need those deep breaths a lot.
Yeah.
And you need to mirror that, right? Like model that, I mean.
Yeah.
Model that. Like, you know, when I'm going to lose it, like...
Breathing is the best.
And like look away and then silence. That has been my key thing too. Like just silent. Like if you don't have anything nice to say, if you're about to lose it, just go mute.
I like that.
Just silence.
Yeah.
You know?
Like right now.
Yeah. Powerful.
That is powerful.
It is. Wow. I just came up. Where do I come up with these things?
Love it. We had to take a little camera break because it got really hot, but I was telling Ale, I was like, man, I learned already so much from you today. I'm feeling motivated. I feel like I have more tools because that's all it is just continuing to learn tools to have a life where you can love yourself more, better. I love this idea of like, it's easier to make decisions because I think a lot of us like, that can be nerve-wracking. So Overthinking, yeah. A lot of overthinkers, I'm sure. People pleasers. You know, all that good stuff. But I think you've given us...
thinking of others too much, what they think.
Yeah.
Yeah, let it go.
Let it go.
You're like, does that person pay my bills? No.
No.
Do they make me breakfast? No.
Okay, so what is something... I'm like, dang, this should be called like... failure is good and also confidence, dude, because I was going to ask you a question. So when so somebody told me this.
Confidence in your failure.
Oh, that's even better.
Okay.
Confidence in your failure.
Damn, we got gems today.
It makes me so excited to like fail, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's
What can I mess
fail it
up
up,
today?
man. No, because it's like it's your story, and I think and that makes me think about so many other things, about the things that you regret or things that like happen where you're like, oh, you know, but it's like that is your story, and it's like uniquely yours, your unique story, and how you're able to learn from it. Me too, like things that have happened, like, oh man, like I'm coming to really accept and celebrate my story and things that haven't gone my way, but been like, no, this is how this was gonna be my story all along. Like, why am I gonna? This is my life. Like, let's embrace it. You know?
Yeah, no regrets.
Yeah, no regrets.
No, we say, oh, what did we learn from that?
Yeah,
Jackie, what did we learn from that?
Oh man,
that's what you're gonna say to yourself.
Learn so much.
Like, man, that didn't go as the way that I thought. Like, what did I learn from that? And if this situation comes across my life again, I know that not to do what I did last time.
And you know what seems to be the constant in all this chaos, like learning and all this stuff? I do believe that we all have like our unique, the things that really light us up and the things that really care about. Like, I feel like that's always a constant, because I think that's, you know, the way you're born, or those things you care about. I think there's beauty in recognizing that, and because it never leaves you, like you never leave yourself. I don't know if I'm being too existential here, but like for me, it's like, oh man, even in all this sometimes uncertainty and stuff, like I can tell you honestly, like I feel so much joy just like, for me, like having these conversations with people, like connecting with people, meeting new people, like I've always loved that. And it's like, and it's just something that I'm always that's just, I don't know, it's nice to know myself and to know that these are the things.
And that you've recognized that.
Yes.
That's something that brings you joy.
Yeah.
So you need to keep repeating that.
Yeah.
You need to recognize what brings you joy and keep repeating it. Whenever you're feeling down, recognize what brings me joy, because I need to go do that right now. Right? Like, I'm not feeling good. How can I bring joy back into my life?
Yeah.
Like, you're having the worst day, go find your joy.
Oh, go find your joy.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you already have it. Like, you already have things in your life.
Yeah.
And that's why I said you have to recognize it. Like, take power in recognizing it. And, you know, there was another coffee chat that we talked about how, like, we are so, like, when we're growing up, we're so eager to, like, be like other people. And it's like, dude, like, what's wrong with just being you?
Yes.
Like, you should embrace what makes, I know it sounds cheesy again, cliche, but it's like, all of these things are all very relevant. It's like, and it's like, yeah, like, you should, the more differences you find, the better. That means you're even more unique than you think, and I think it's a beautiful thing. And I always thought, oh my God, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough, and now I'm like, dude, I'm Jackie, I'm like Yaki, and that's just, this is what you get, you know?
Yeah. And I love myself.
I do love myself.
What? It's so funny how these sayings, these corny sayings, these corny sentences, they finally come into fruition in different stages of your life, and you finally understand the meaning of them. Right? It's so weird.
You're like, wait.
You're like, oh, that's what this means. Like, I get it.
Clicks,
Yeah, it's so funny. And it probably comes to that when you need it. Like, you understand it when you need it.
Yeah.
It'll make sense when you need it. But yeah.
For you, what's something that you have learned from failure? Like, is there something in particular you want to share that you're like, oh, you know, I failed at this, and now I'm like, oh, now you've pivoted a certain way. I don't know, with food, or I don't know, anything that you want to share.
I mean, with anything. I was trying to think of something simple. I don't know.
Well, the potato thing with your daughter, I mean, I think it's
I just made that up.
But it's even in those, sometimes it's even in the smallest mundane things that it doesn't have to be this huge life-altering thing when there's a failure. Especially at the very beginning of our conversation, I'm like, when you really like take yourself out of what your life is right now, and you just think about like the practicality of like failure. What I thought of was like, you know, so many of us, like, you know, if we do like paint wine night, right? We do something that's like out of our comfort zone, and we do it, and we're like, oh my God, this is not turning out like what it said. But you're just going for it, and who knows, like maybe if you keep practicing and you do it, it'll be fine. But it's not a failure because that first time you didn't get it right. It's like,
yeah, and that's not the point.
And that's not the point. But I think that can be applicable to the bigger things too, don't you think?
Like that's not the point. The point is to be social, do something out of your comfort.
Yeah.
Like be appreciative that you were able to do something out of your comfort.
Yeah.
And to have a good time.
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to bring you like laugh and joy and right?
Yeah.
And like focus on that.
Yeah.
Like don't focus on like your ugly painting.
Yeah.
Like
your beautifully ugly painting.
Like laugh about it. Like I did that. I did that and I was here and I took the time for myself to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
Focus on that.
Yeah.
I think of something funny, but like this is probably like
let's hear it.
I'm not gonna say that this officially happened because it may be like illegal. Not really.
Whisper it?
No, not really. It's not really that big of a
Okay.
deal. But you know when you like dread calling like a customer service line?
Yeah.
Right? And then they're always like sometimes I had to do this for like someone else, right? And they're like, oh, like, you know, when you can't have access because you're not that person. And then they're like, oh, like I need this and this. And then it's like, and what's your name? Right? They're like, what's your name? And so I learned like, well, you say that person's name. You don't say, right? Like you don't say your name.
Okay.
Because then you get what you need. Right? Because we're trying to solve a problem right now. So you get what you need. So I'm just trying to think of like simple failures. Like a lot of times when I would try to get something and it was like an emergency over the phone that I was trying to help someone to do, like a family member or a partner or something like that. Yeah. And it's like I learned from that, right? Because once I did that and I couldn't get help,
then you realize how you can
we can't share that information because you're not so and so. Click.
Now you know.
And now I know.
Oh.
So I'm gonna call another day and I'm gonna say I'm da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, da-da-da, because I have all the information. But it's just like little things like that I think is applicable to everything in life.
It's like now you know. It's like you learn from this and it's like now you know and now you can apply it. So instead of being like bogged down by like, this I failed, it's gone. It's like no, this is information.
Right.
Now, oh look at my doggy. This is information. Now you're gonna take this information to move forward towards the things you want.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was very simple, but
simple.
Yeah.
No, it's simple, but it's like it cannot be applied. It can be applied to anything and everything, and it also is not going to slow you down, because again, I think it goes back to like you said, detaching your feelings. Like these are just things that happen or that you work on, but it has nothing to do with you as a person or your worth or your ability to do things. It's like you're just learning, and that's it. Like they're two very different things, and I think. For me, that's the biggest thing that I'm taking away from you today is recognizing that by simply even just reframing when you think about the word failure, it's really not. And why do we use the word failure though? Like I don't mean to go down this road, but it's like then why use the word failure? Because failure in a sense is to.
Because it didn't turn out the way you expected it to.
Okay. And therefore, but that's okay.
But that's okay. Should we pick a new word?
Well, we already said confidence and failure.
Yeah. No, it's a positive word.
Yeah.
Failure is a positive word.
I've heard it. I'm not going to take credit for this because I heard it somewhere, but I did hear that like failure is like redirection.
It is.
It's literally that, and that's really all it is. But I think I like what you're saying about having confidence in the failure because I think people are so afraid of even the redirection.
Yeah.
Because
they're afraid of the redirection.
Yeah.
They're afraid of the redirection.
So by having the confidence of being like, no, this is like to be expected or whatever, like, okay. Like my friend always tells me like when things happen, she's like, plot twist. Like I didn't see that one. Like really looking at life as this like, well, then,
Or even maybe approaching to something that you're trying as like maybe envisioning how it can go wrong first. So you're not like, taken by surprise.
Right.
You're like, I'm gonna try this, and this is the ways that it can go wrong.
Yep.
You're like, and it's okay.
That's okay.
But it could also go in a good way.
Yeah.
But like, this is the ways that it could go wrong.
But
So maybe
evaluate both ways, though. Evaluate both ways. I think so many of us are like, oh, like I definitely am like, what could go wrong? But it's like, it's nice to be talking about like
the positive.
Yeah, like what could go right with this, and I think that's I'm sure that's like, do you do that in your and when you, because you talk about a vision and like
envisioning, you have to envision.
Yeah.
Yeah. I envision how it could go wrong. I do.
But do you envision how it can go right?
Always.
Oh, always. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. But if it doesn't work out, you're like, you learn from it and then you move on. On. I'll leave with this quote because I know we're already super over. But this quote,
let's hear it.
It's the famous Albert Einstein one.
Which one is it?
That the definition of insanity is doing something over and over again and expecting different results. Mm-hmm. So if you are making the same mistakes and the same failures over and over again and asking yourself, but why? And why is my life like this? Why can I never get anything right? Why do I always da-da-da-da-da-da? And it's like, well, what can you do differently? Like, why are you expecting something to change? Why are you expecting something to be different if you're not doing the things to learn from those mistakes and trying something different?
Do you know where this quote came from? What was Einstein talking about, like something scientific?
Probably, I'm sure they were trying to solve a whole. Wasn't
it's all connected. Everything's all connected.
Things?
Everything's connected, dude.
Yeah, everything's
Literally.
connected. Everything's connected.
But I agree with you, and obviously for me, thank you for. I think it's a great way to wrap up our awesome conversation today. I'm left very motivated, invigorated. And part of it is like what you said is like, I think this idea of like changing things up so that you can try to see some different results. It starts with belief in yourself, belief that these different ways have potential, because I think we're quick to sabotage.
Yeah.
So just
confidence,
belief in yourself and in these ideas. It all starts with you. It really does. Everything, dude. Seriously. So, thank you again.
Do you hug yourself?
I don't.
We don't hug.
Do you hug yourself?
Yeah.
Literally?
Yes.
Literal? Do you do this?
Yes, because I have to teach my daughter this.
Okay.
Right?
I never do this. Okay, so how do we do
the
this?
mic.
Oh, yeah.
The mic.
Okay,
Wait,
let's do it.
y'all gonna see some cleavage?
I'm covered up here, but.
You have to hug yourself. You know, like.
So you do this every day?
No, but every once in a while.
This does feel nice. I'm like, is this what Anna feels when she hugs me?
Aww.
No, I'm listening.
But yeah.
This is nice. Yeah.
Love yourself.
Yeah.
You say like, wow, like you did that today. Like you killed it today. You are so amazing, and I love you, and I'm so grateful to have you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever said that to myself. Wow. Damn. Oh, well, I'll do it off camera.
Yes.
I need some alone time. I need some me and me time.
To me time.
To me time. I love that.
Schedule your me time.
Yeah, schedule it. When do you schedule it?
At least like once a week. Put it on your calendar. Me time.
Me time.
Yeah.
To me time.
To
Cheers,
me time.
guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, Ale.
Thank you.
Alejandra.